As a 3D artist, you probably think that your job is to only create 3D render, but believe it or not, you should not limit yourself to that. Now there's many different options, but first we're going to address the most obvious one, which is freelancing. This is indeed a very popular choice when it comes to 3D artists. It offers flexibility, it allows you to work with clients from all over the world, and you can kind of set up independently your hours of work and you have a little bit more freedom. There's also a lot of platforms that can limit you in that direction as well, like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer, which are all fine for beginners. At least I myself started my first steps of freelancing there. But honestly, if you want to move on to bigger income and a little bit more serious clients, you probably should level up from that to kind of building a more personal brand as a freelancer. Plus, not only that, you will get 100% of the deal that you agree on, and not like any of these other platforms that they act as middlemen and they get a 15 to 20% cut on what you agree on the price. But don't forget that as a 3D artist, you also possess skills that are useful for other stuff as well. You can also create digital assets, which would be useful to all of your colleagues. Digital assets can include textures, 3D models, HDRIs, maybe some IES profiles, and all of that good stuff. Now remember that there are a few websites that operate like this, like TextureBox, like Polyhaven, and many more. And what you're basically doing is that you're solving an issue of 3D artists, which all of those assets take a lot of time to create individually for each of their projects. Instead, you're providing the 3D assets in an exchange for the actual subscription price. Now you can either list out your 3D models and other assets on these platforms like TurboSquid and all of that. And it is very important that when you're creating these kind of assets for those websites, you're choosing a very particular niche and you're unique in the sense of what you're offering, because they can be a bit more competitive. But honestly, this is okay once again for starting out. But if I was you, I would set up a brand in this direction and then put up 3D models that you have created on a website in exchange for a monthly payment for other 3D artists. Now remember that if you upload the work in other 3D websites which you do not own, they will always take a cut from what you sell. If you have an independent one, you will get 100% of the sales, but also you will be responsible for the marketing and just getting your name out there. Now before I go to the final income stream as a 3D artist, make sure to click the first link in the description to join the program, where I will join live calls with you and I will help you to get your 3D rendering business to 6 figures in only 6 weeks. And I am only opening commissions for 10 people every 2 to 3 months, so hurry up and save your spot now. Now as a 3D artist, when you're working as a freelancer or even if you have a job, you will possess some very valuable skills, which means that you can also share your knowledge and expertise with other people. And that's why, in my opinion, the third option in order to create a revenue stream as a 3D artist is online courses or even consultations. Online learning platforms have revolutionized the way that people think about learning, and that's why they've taken a whole demographic and put it out there online. Now remember that just like with the previous examples that we have with the other income streams, when working with these type of websites, they will take a cut from what you make. At least that's with Udemy. But Skillshare has kind of a different model where they pay you for the amount of watch time that the people are getting on your course. Now obviously outside of these two options, there's some other options as well, but these are the two main ones. But you also have the other option, which is to set up your online learning platform. Through that, you can put out online courses, which you will not have to pay royalties any third-party website. And honestly, this takes a lot more effort when it comes to marketing and branding yourself and just getting your name out there. But in my experience, it's 100% worth it. And the reason being is that along the path, when you're trying to market yourself and sell your course, you will also develop a personal branding. You will also develop skills as social media management, marketing, sales, which can also be very useful in other areas of expertise as well. Now, when creating online courses, is very essential that people are actually happy with what you're creating. The goal is to not only sell the course, but you also want to do your best to help people achieve the goal that you're promising. Now this will ensure that they will buy from you again and again and again when you put out new courses. Now all of these income streams can be as a side hustle, or maybe when you're not having as much clients as you'd want to as a 3D visualizer, or maybe if you have a full-time job, you want to do something on the side. And I must myself have done all of these 3 options. I think that with all 3 of them, you can scale them unlimitedly as long as you have the correct marketing strategy and you have all of the fundamentals down correctly. I believe that most of you that are watching are either freelancers of 3D visualizing or you have a full-time job as a 3D visualizer. But if you want to learn how you can get clients as a 3D artist, make sure to watch the video right here.